Hello YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you happen to be new here, welcome to the Painted South. Last night I started a decorating tutorial video on how to decorate a Christmas tree for spring or Easter. I started off doing step-by-step instructions, and part of the way through I sort of stopped doing step-by-step instructions and I just started having fun decorating. I do this all the time and I apologize. So I ended up getting a lot of the tree finished, and then I thought, well, I'm just going to finish the whole thing and then I'll just show you how it turned out. And so I thought, well, they would probably like to see how I did it. And so I had an idea because I wanted to create another one, but on a smaller scale. So I want to show you how this tree turned out, and I'm also going to show you how to do the same tree, or as close as I can possibly get it to be the same, in a smaller version. So I'm going to show you this large tree and then the smaller tree. So we're in my front room, which is eventually going to be my craft room, I hope. I was just going to throw something together and start using it as my craft room, but I was like, no, I just want to wait until I can get custom cabinetry and come up with a really good plan so that I have the appropriate organized storage for this room. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and decorate it for spring so it's done. And then later on, when I remake this into my craft room, I will share that makeover as well. But for now, this room was my thrifted room makeover Christmas edition room. If you missed that video, you may want to go back and watch it when it gets closer to Christmas. But we're going to do a thrifted room makeover spring edition. So I did still have the Christmas tree up in this room that I used for Christmas, and the tree was $9.99 at a thrift store. I haven't put it up, you guys. I'm procrastinating so much. We don't utilize this room as often as I thought we would. It's sort of an office, formal sitting room. You could use it as a guest room, I suppose. But it's just a nice room. a lot of people have the same layout. You come into the foyer, it's a room off to your right, and it's usually used as an office or music room or sitting room or something like that. So, and I am sorry, you guys. My face is probably puffy and I probably sound really nasally because I think the pollen is coming out. The joys of spring, which we absolutely love spring, but it does bring along allergies if you have any kind of allergies. And I never really was one to have allergies, but it does sort of bother me now. So it is what it is. I'm happy spring is on the way. And if I sound nasally and my eyes are puffy and my eyes are watering like faucets, that's what it is. I don't think I'm infected with the coronavirus. I mean, like, so my idea was to make a smaller version of this tree, and instead of doing the usual Easter tree where it's just bare branches with some eggs hanging from them, I thought I would make a mini tree just like this one. And so this is the very top piece to one of my other Christmas trees, and I have several. So you could also use the mini Christmas trees. I already have those packed away. This one was upstairs because I left 4 of my trees put together and I just took them up and put them in a spare room, so I didn't have to take them out of boxes and put them all together and string the lights and all of that. So I'm hoping it saves me time later on this year. I use the trees for fall as well. I like decorating fall trees. I do have some videos where I've decorated my trees for fall. I will share those in the description box below if you'd like to watch those as well. So this is just the very top piece of one of my Christmas trees. This one happens to have a few pine cones attached to it, and I could take those off, but it's fine. I like the wood element of it. And we're going to be adding some grapevine to it, so this is about the size. I'd like to have one that was just maybe a little bit taller, just a tad bit taller, but this one will do just fine. So we're going to start with this as the base, and then to the tree we're going to be adding maybe some of this garland. I'm probably going to have to cut these up because this isn't that large. So I'd like to get some lighter greens in here, just like we did on the large tree. So I have that one. And I also used this one, which I hauled for you in my last video. Or I could possibly just use this one. That's probably going to cover a lot of that evergreen just with that. So I could possibly just use this. We'll have to see when we get started. That's sort of how projects go. You just sort of start and keep working on them until you get them the way you like them. That's how I operate. So that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to start with this, add the garland, and then I also have, for the base to put the tree in, here I used a wood planter box that my husband built, and I just stacked some of those birchwood logs that I also used in the foyer. But for this one, because it's smaller, I have this thrifted tissue box. It was originally from Stein Mart for $24.99. I got it at a thrift store for a few bucks. I can't remember. I think I hauled it maybe earlier, sometime last year possibly. But anyway, it's just a tissue box. I love the design on it. And I will secure a piece of foam in there, which I'm going to show you how to do this in just a minute. So we're going to just secure it in here like this. And I think that's a really cute base. I love the finish on it, so I don't have to do anything to it. So when you go thrifting, you may, if you see things like this, I always try to look at things in a different way. Do I usually have tissue boxes sitting around? Well, now I do, but normally I don't. But something like this, you can use for so many different things, not just a tissue box cover. So that's going to make a really cute base. So we'll use that, and I'll show you how we're going to attach that so it doesn't flop around in there. We're going to take one of these square floral foam pieces from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to put a bunch of hot glue all around it and then smash it right in there like that. And it's going to glue it to the top, and then I'm going to have something to put that tree right down into. And that should hold it. I will have to press on the bottom when I'm putting the tree in, but that should hold it and secure it. During Christmas time, Hobby Lobby has these rolls of wood bundles, and they're just the cutest little birch logs. So they're already cut in half. You could take these to make a base and just wrap it around a box or something like that. So you could make your own little wood base for your tree. But I think I'm just going to cut a couple of these off and maybe put them in the tree just to add in that birchwood element that I have in the foyer and below this tree. But obviously these are a much smaller size, so they're going to fit the scale of this project. So because this tree is going to be so much smaller, our bunnies need to be smaller as well. Last year I got these at Hobby Lobby for $3.99 a piece, probably 40% off then as well. They do have them this year at Hobby Lobby, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure I saw them in there. So they're so cute, and they're a much better scale for this tree. I'm going to try to incorporate them in just like I did on this one and tie them in. If not, I may have to put them below it. We'll just have to see how that goes. Also, to go in the tree, we're going to have to add a little bird's nest on a much smaller scale. And this one I got, I believe, at Michael's last year. I can't remember how much it was. You can get these anywhere right now. Spring and Easter decor is everywhere. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, everywhere. So I'm sure that you can find a little nest. If not, you can always make one. This one already has 3 little eggs in. I might leave these, or I might take them out and put maybe some different colors in there. I'm not sure, but it came just like this. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I got this at Michael's. It's really cute. It already has a little bit of moss and some leaves in it, if you can see that. And then little eggs. So I think it will fit nicely in the tree. It's a much better scale, so it's going to fit right in there. It's so cute. I hope this turns out as cute as I think it's going to. I just came up with the idea to try to do a smaller one to show you how I put this one together instead of taking everything back off of here and showing you step by step. So we're going to give this a try. If you'd like to do this project, you're also going to need some grapevine or some little sticks to wrap around the tree or put in there just for that rustic element. Now this topper already has small pine cones in it, so that rustic brown element is already there. You wouldn't have to necessarily use the grapevine, but I love how it looks wrapped around displays, trees, vignettes, wreaths, and things like that. So I always like to incorporate this if I can. Another element that I want to add to the mini tree that I added to the larger tree would be the space filler. You can find this at Ross, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, pretty much anywhere. And I just picked out these little balls just to add another textural element to the tree and break up some of that green color. And if you watched my last video from my Hobby Lobby haul, you know I love to add these spriggy grasses. They're called seaweed. They're fantastic to add to anything, and they really made this tree come to life and make it all come together. Before I put these in, it really looked kind of flat, so I highly recommend these if you like that wispy look. Again, they're at Hobby Lobby. They were $13.99 normal price, and I got them half off, of course. So they really add a nice textural element and just a lot of movement. I love the light green color, so they really added a lot of highlight all throughout this tree. So we're going to be adding those to the mini tree as well. Now, before we get started, I'm going to run and do a small scavenger hunt through my house and try to find a few more elements that I need for this tree. I need some type of carrots, and I'm not sure that I have any that small, so I may have to make some. I also need little small pots to put in the tree, and I also need some type of smaller florals to put in the tree as well. So I'm hoping that I can do another version of this, but on a smaller scale. I'm sure it's going to turn out very differently, but still have a similar feel and vibe. So I hope you enjoy it. So let me go look for those items, and then we'll get started. So I just looked around my house, and I was able to find the little pot that I was thinking of. And these are the little terracotta pots. I think you get 3 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. I've already used a couple of them, so I only have one left, so I could just use this one. I also have some of this size, which I think might be a little too large, but it might be okay to put this one near the bottom and maybe use this one, you know, at the top, or maybe just use one or the other. But this is more of an appropriate size for the project that we're doing. And then I also found these. Last year they had these at the Dollar Tree, probably have them this year. They're just these little pots, and they came with a succulent in them. I took the succulent out just to use that in a different arrangement. So I did keep these little white pots, so I could use these. They're a little bit modern looking, which isn't necessarily my favorite, but they would be fine in the tree, and they already have a little bit of the foam in, so I could tuck some flowers in there to make our little blooming flower pots like we have in this tree. So we have these. You can use anything you want. You could also use a little plastic shot glasses they sell at the Dollar Tree, or anything else that you can make into a little pot. So these or these, and then I do have the larger size. I don't have any more carrots. I thought I had another pack or so, but we can make some small ones. They have this orange twine-like ribbon at the Dollar Tree, and you get 9 feet. So I have a few packs of this. I got it last year and never used it. So this will make really cute carrots. We'll just make them a little bit more size appropriate. Before we start decorating, I need to get the base ready for the tree. So I'm going to take my tissue box holder that I thrifted and this piece of floral foam. I'm going to put a ton of hot glue just around the perimeter so that it doesn't come through where the hole is. So when I push it in there, it's going to stick and hold firm and make a nice base. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. Okay, I have the little Christmas tree topper in the base, the little tissue box base, and it works perfectly. I love the colors. So I'm just going to do the first step, which is cover as much of this evergreen as I can. I actually do want to show some of the dark green. This one has a little bit of varied green anyway, a little bit lighter and darker colors, which is great. Okay, to start, we are going to add this flowering greenery. This garland is available at Hobby Lobby. I hauled it in my last video. I love using it especially for spring because of all of the light colors and varied green shades on here. It makes it look pretty authentic, and I really just love the shape of it as well. So we're going to start by adding this. Next, we're going to add this one. I love this greenery. You're going to want to tuck these in and sort of play around with them to get them looking nice and even throughout the little tree. So the next thing we want to add is our little nest, and this one's already done. I think I'm just going to leave these eggs in here for now. I may change it out in a little bit, but kind of want to orient it like this, I think, or maybe, yeah, we'll kind of orient it like this. And this should stay in here. I'm just going to tuck it in. You can wire this in if you want to, but it's pretty much going to stay there on its own. So I think that looks cute. Just kind of tuck that there. The next thing I want to add is going to be the little pots. I may add 1 or 2, I'm not sure. I'm going to try this terracotta kind. I'm just going to hot glue some twine like I did for the larger tree pots. Just going to hot glue it around that rim and then leave a little extra string here, and then I'll just be able to tie it to one of these evergreen ends because I'll be able to bend it and position this where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and hot glue that around here. Okay, I think I want to go ahead and add the little bunny to make it look like the larger tree. And how I attached those, since they won't really just sit here, I mean, you could, but I'd be afraid that they would fall out. I want him to look like he is sort of smelling the flowers. We're going to be adding flowers in the pot, but I want to go ahead and get the bigger elements in here. So next we're going to add this bunny. I'm just going to take some twine and sort of tie it around his neck. It's a similar color, so it doesn't show up as much. And then I'll attach it to that tall post there, and he'll just look like he's smelling the flowers. And then we'll add a cute little ribbon bow to hide that. I went ahead and added 2 of those little half pieces of birch wood. I just glued them together. I really didn't have to do that, but I just wanted to make it look like an actual log. So I glued the two halves together, and I'm just going to tuck that in under the bunny and add some of the greenery back over it. So you kind of see it, but it's not super obvious. So it looks like he's sort of climbing up on a little log to get to the flowers, which we're going to add in just a little bit. I did go ahead and add those blue-green floral pods to the top just to sort of fill in that blank area in the background. And then behind the bunny's head, I also added that little sprig with the purple on it from the Dollar Tree. I got those last year. I wish they had them this year. I haven't seen them, but I need to check. They had purple and yellow and that nice blue-green leaf on them. So I'm going to look for some more, but I had those from last year and I just added that to the top. Now we're going to add some little flowers to the pot. And here is our mini Easter tree finally completed. I did end up adding fairy lights and a few feathers to the bird's nest. If you'd like a more structured look, you can definitely take your time and tuck in the garland more and not have as many wispy pieces sticking out. That just happens to be the look that I prefer, but you can do whatever you want and customize these trees to suit your home decor and your design style. I think this is a great way to keep those twinkling lights that we all love in your house all throughout the year. You can decorate your Christmas trees for spring, summer, fall, and winter. I think you can create one of these trees without spending a lot of money. Just grab some of the little elements that you have throughout your house that pertain to Easter or spring and put them in your tree, and it will end up looking fabulous. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video and that it inspires you to decorate your home for spring by creating a gorgeous Easter tree. Please like this video if you did, leave a comment below, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to my channel. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.